Hi, my name is Salvador Piedra, and today I'm going to talk to you about the three concepts that are important to me because they've helped me understand something in my life. And those concepts are neurosis, intrinsic motivation, and last but not least, perception. These three concepts have made an impact in my life, and this is why. Neurosis is defined as a tendency to experience negative emotions, anxiety disorders, or unhealthy behaviors. Our book explains that a person who dominates by their ID might be narcissistic or impulsive. Our ID contains our most primitive drives and urges and is present from birth. To a 21-year-old kid from LA who grew up in a bad neighborhood and had a dream to one day have a career within the water department, it all seemed pretty far, especially because I was obsessing over negative emotions and failures that I had in the past. And that is just what somebody with a neurotic personality does. I knew I had to make a change. Someone with a neurotic personality feels guilt, anger, anxiety, and to be honest, a little bit of envy from those around us who are thriving while we're not. Being intrinsically motivated means finding motivation within, motivation that is driven to better yourself, and motivation to be able to master your career or any obstacle in front of you. It's motivation that you find within to be able to fulfill your inner desires. So I decided to make the move to San Bernardino County, where I would bounce around from job to job, but never applied for my dream career. I one day got a chance to go back to school and get my certifications. I knew I had to make the choice to go back to school because I was going to love the end result of it. I would finally get an opportunity to work for the water department, which, like I mentioned, has always been my dream career. Being intrinsically motivated means finding motivation within, motivation that is driven to better yourself, and motivation to be able to master your career or any obstacle in front of you. It's motivation that you find within to be able to fulfill your inner desires. Perception is defined as the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses. Our book says that perception refers to the way sensory information is organized, interpreted, and consciously experienced. There's a man by the name of Wilhelm Wundt, who was a German scientist, who was the first person to be referred to as a psychologist. Our book says that Wundt used something called introspection. To him, this was internal perception, which is a process in which someone examines their own conscious experience as objectively as possible. Moving forward, at this certain point in my life, I realized that there had to be a lot of changes made. I knew that I had to take a step back and take a look at what was in front of me. I knew that there had to be some rethinking of my future. I knew that I had to change my mentality. I knew that my attitude overall, well, it needed a 360. My perception about life, it had to change. I knew that once my perception changed, my attitude changed. And then once my attitude changed, my life would change. It had to work like the dominoes effect. Perception is the way you view the world through your own eyes, the way you feel about what you see through your own eyes. It's the way we interpret certain situations because of where we stand, or the way we interpret certain situations because of the situation that we're in. It's our point of view from our current standing point. It's what we see when we stand back and look at our situation. Because of everything I have gone through, I had a lot of self-doubt just obsessing over negative emotions and failures. I thought I would never reach my dream of one day working within the water department. That was my neurotic personality peaking, but I knew I had to change. I knew that at that point in my life, I really had to find my intrinsic motivation. And that was the motivation found within, the motivation that was going to drive me to do better. The motivation that I had to find to be able to master my career and any other obstacle in front of me. I knew that I had to get off my butt and keep fighting and change my perception. That dominoes effect that I was talking about, it had to happen. It had to occur. I knew that once my perception changed, my attitude would change. And once my attitude changed, my life would change. I knew that the dominoes effect would work. Today, because of that perception change that I had, I now work for the City of Redlands Water Department. This is actually where I'm recording this video. I love it here, and all I had to do was get rid of my neurotic personality, find my intrinsic motivation, and change my perception.